Recently, there was an article published in the New York Times titled, "More Than Ever You Can Say That on Television." It discusses about how, in the last few years, the use of curse words and vulgar sayings on television has risen to an all-time high. The article states, ever since George Carlin laid out the 7 words you can never say on television way back in 1972, TV writers have been digging more deeply into the thesaurus and seizing on new ways to titillate, if not to offend. TV has changed a lot since we were growing up. It didn't used to be a competition between who could get away with the most uses of profanity. As time's gone by, writers and TV producers just keep pushing the limits as to the best of their abilities. Recent research by Barbara Kay at the University of Tennessee and Barry Sapolsky at the Florida State University found that viewers are more likely to hear offensive language in the 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. time slot than actually at 10 p.m., and that technically there hasn't been a family hour since 1976. Use of profanities on primetime TV has gone up from 5.5 times an hour in 1990 to 7.6 times an hour in 2001, and then to 9.8 times an hour in 2009. So are we to expect these numbers to double again in the next 10 years? What's in store for the future of primetime television? Are people just going to accept this evolution and let TV shows with cursing become normal family programs? After the success of The Simpsons and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there was a backlash against this ghettoization, leading to more animated shows for adults and less for family audiences. But these shows were all comedies, and since animation was still not regarded as a suitable medium for purely dramatic content, this trend eventually led to cartoons being no longer just for children. In this case, we can speak at a lack of maturity in adult cartoons made for North American television. The rules are being broken and adult animation is slowly becoming more acceptable. But in an attempt to break the rules, the writers and animators are penning the most offensive animated comedies that they possibly can. In 1980, the most popular TV show for teens was Saved by the Bell, battling issues of pimples and boys and trying to get girls to date them. Good, clean family fun, hardly any cursing or mature content. Now, it's Degrassi, The Next Generation, where major themes are teen pregnancy, drug problems, and promiscuity, making it much more explicit content. The reason for this is that in the late 1970s, television producers figured out how to lure audiences into primetime entertainment: sex. This discovery sparked many of the changes in how TV has evolved over time, and in the succeeding 20 years has changed within the television industry. In the 1970s, there were 3 major TV networks with a combination share of 90% of the primetime TV viewing audience. In 1995, the big 3 networks' share of the primetime audience reached a record low of 57%. What exactly happened? Competition happened. TV has expanded its offerings to include specialized channels like HBO, and on top of that, audience erosion has since dropped off with the introduction of VCRs and now DVD players. Networks were forced to compete with media as well as other channels that could offer more offensive and risque programming. As of now, traditional TV audiences are on a steep downward dive and have began using mediums other than the television set to access their content. New things such as TiVo, Rogers On Demand, and Apple TV mean that we can record the programs that we want to see and watch them later, pausing or fast-forwarding through the advertisements. More and more, ad agencies are turning to embedded marketing or product placement, which is where the product is placed in the context of the TV show to market, rather than in the ad. Based on a survey by the Association of National Advertisers, it is said that the reasons for using in-show plugs varied from stronger emotional connection with the product to better dovetailing with relevant content to targeting a specific group. People are even beginning to look to the internet for their TV viewing needs. With TV piracy being at an all-time high, as well as popular streaming websites such as Surf the Channel, Hulu, as well as the popular YouTube, People are going online and finding content that they would originally have to pay for free. It's becoming more and more about convenience. People can even access TV shows from their mobile devices. This has forced advertisers to take some of the money that they would be spending on TV advertisements and spend it on certain internet ads like banners and short advertisements that play before streaming video.